Atlanta's Inspiration Station, Praise 102.5. Nico hanging out with you right here. And listen, family, I told you we have a treat. There's a great musical happening in the city, and we got to let you know all about it. This man that I'm about to introduce is not anything that you guys have not seen before. You've seen him all over Billboard charts, media base, and now you get to see him in a musical play. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Byron Cage. How are you, sir?
Nico, I'm good, man. How are you? Glad to be back. Glad to be back home in Atlanta.
Yeah, glad to have you back. And speaking of being back, last night y'all kicked off something amazing. Y'all had a matinee. I'm talking about Deep Greenwood Ignited, the musical theater play.
Yes.
Let us know all about that, because when I was going over it, I was like, man, first and foremost, the fact that you got Miss Vicky Winans and you on the same stage is amazing.
Listen, man, listen. She comes out there singing "Long as I Got King Jesus."
Yeah.
I don't need nobody else. So she's amazing. I love her. She's such a living legend. But man, this play is an incredible play. Deep Greenwood Ignited. I mean, it really tells a story of the massacre that happened in the 1920s in Tulsa City, Oklahoma, when the African American built their own wealth there on their side of the tracks, and the white mob that came and burned it all down. And so it's a really tough story to tell. The actors are incredible, especially the white racists. They are too good, because they get booed at curtain call at first. They say, woo, then everybody starts clapping. But it's an important story and tells the history that we can never forget, so we will not be doomed to repeat something like that again, especially in an election year when there's so much turmoil with things going on right now. We have to have the right person in office that has sense.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, when I first came across this, one of the first things I thought in my mind was how difficult this had to be to play in, because, of course, when you talk about something like this, a lot of emotion is tied to it.
Oh, yeah, and this is emotional. Yeah. It's a roller coaster ride. The first part really tells the story and about how the blacks came together and they organized themselves and began to build businesses and all that kind of good stuff. That's exciting. But what's terrible is when you saw what the other side did to try to bring it all down, because they were tired of them not coming into their city now, where we could not buy merchandise from the front of stores. They had to go to the back of stores to do it. In addition, they also didn't have any diners. They couldn't eat at any diners. They're spending the same amount of money, if not more. And so I think that's why they decided to do that. And so to tell that story and then to see those white guys, man, those actors in this, it's a use of the N-words throughout that play, as well as there is some profanity. So with me and Vicky, I know we're gospel artists, you all. It's not a gospel play, although I do sing. I sing 3 songs in the play that are gospel. But for the most part, man, it's just a story that is so important to understand. This really happened, but it could never happen again.
I always wonder when people take roles as yourself and you have these situations, like, what is something that you look for, or say when you get a script that comes across you? Yeah. What is something that made you say, I want to take on this?
Because when I read it, I gasped, because you never hear the full out story. You just only hear about what happened, what it was burned down. They never tell you that they actually built it back up. Wow. So as I began to read the script and say, wow, how could someone be so cruel, just utterly cruel and hateful, to take the resources that the blacks used to build their own wealth? They said, we don't have to come over there and spend money. We'll just do it and build it ourselves, so we can go to restaurants, so we can buy merchandise in stores. The people could not even let their children try on shoes until they paid for it first. So those are the messages. So when I kept seeing those messages, I said, you know what? When they asked me to be in the play, I said, I'm going to do it. Not just as a singer. I want to act as well. Because I was in Tyler Perry's very first play called I Know I've Been Changed. It was here, like, gosh, almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it's over 30 years. And so, man, here I am again on the stage acting, and people looking at me like, I didn't know you can act. To be or not to be, this is the question, people.
There you go.
So, it's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work.
I was going to say, my son is in acting currently. That's what he wants to do, and he's acting in his first play, Raising in the Sun, next month. And he's done a movie already. And one of the things I told him, I was like, hey, this is different. When you get on that stage, you don't get no second chances at this thing. No. It's not a movie where you can say cut.
That's right. You got to know those lines.
Absolutely. Was that something that you were afraid of after being off the stage for so long?
Just a little bit, because there was one line in particular where I say, violence begets violence. And I kept forgetting what's the next thing that comes. And so it just took me a minute, but I'm an old pro at it now.
There you go.
I think I got it down pat now.
Okay.
So we have we have 4 more shows. We have 2 shows, one matinee today at 3 and an evening performance. And then tomorrow is the last day for a matinee at 3 and a 7 p.m. performance.
I love it. So when people leave the theater, what is something that you want them to take from it?
I want them to be inspired to know that whatever they deal with, no matter what the obstacles in life. You may feel like your life has been in ruin, just like they did those people in that massacre. But you've got to know that greater is he who lives in you than he that's in the world. And God can restore, and he can take you even to a higher place that you never dreamed of.
I love it. I love it. I love your energy too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now I got to check it out. Y'all got to check it out too. Deep Greenwood Ignited, the musical theater play written by Mia Walter.
Yeah, she's very talented. Very talented.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And just Saints, listen. Be open.
Yes.
Be open, please.
There is profanity, y'all. They're not blowing the F-bomb and all that kind of stuff, but they do say a couple of words. But the N-word is used, and it is used masterfully. I mean, when I first heard those actors do it, I cringed on the inside. Then I had to say, you know what? This is a screenplay, and we can't sugarcoat it.
No.
We can't say
because it's what really happened.
You Negro. No, that's not what they call us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going to be throughout. It's going to cause you to look and say, oh, my goodness, I don't know how they stood it, but then just to see the resilience of our people and the things that we've had to go through has obviously catapulted us into new places where we had an African-American president. Now we have an African-American female vice president.
Right.
And, in the state that I live in Maryland, Wes Moore is an African-American, the first governor in Maryland. Wow. So we keep making strides, because of those who sacrificed before us, especially during the civil rights.
I love it. Everybody, the one and only Mr. Byron Cage, please let them know how they can catch the show, because it is, you do have a matinee today, correct?
Yes, we do at 3 o'clock and one show tonight. You can go to ticketstorm.com and you can purchase those tickets, and it's located there in Decatur off of Rainbow Drive. It's one of the it's not a newer facility because I performed there a long time ago, but it's a really intimate facility.
Okay, gotcha.
That like off of County Road, make a left on Rainbow, and it's on the right hand side, about a half a mile down.
Hey, he just gave y'all directions. Now,
you know what? You know I used to live here, man.
Oh,
I lived in Decatur. I stayed at Chapel Lake over there, man. You know his ministry music at Bishop Eddie Long's church.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
New Birth,
yes, sir.
Jonathan Nelson thinks he's doing it now. He ain't doing it like I did it. Tell him I said so, Jonathan. Tell him I said
Stonecrest, right?
That's
Stonecrest area. Okay.
But now remember, the original New Birth was at 2778 Snap Finger Road.
Oh,
that's
man.
When I was there when it was a small church, and Bishop had only been there for 3 months, and then once I left, it was well over 20,000 members. So
and look how it is grown.
God is good, man.
God is good.
God is good.
Make sure y'all go check out Deep Greenwood Ignited. Listen, it's a star-studded cast, of course. Mr. Byron Cage, Miss Vicky Winans, and again, it's written by Miss Mia Walter. So make sure y'all go check that. Support it today and as well as tomorrow. Correct?
That is correct.
All right, get on out there, y'all. It's praise.